Welcome one, welcome all. Holy God, that was a good chart to start it off with. Wait,
Yeah, it
shout out
was.
to Aerodrome babies,
Yeah, but
Shout out to the Aerodrome holders out there.
hells
Me and
yeah.
Isaac getting after it here, trying to get a
Okay.
position in before this freaking chaos of the FOMC happens today, folks. Things are about to get wet and wild on the blockchain, but I'm going to get into it. My hair's a little wet,
Slick back, baby.
feeling feisty. We're going to be talking, and really what the Jerome Powell speech is today, I think is going to matter a lot more than what the expectations of the no funding rate change are coming up. But there's a lot of things going on. We're going to be diving into that. Where Bitcoin's at right now, pretty interesting level, right around $104,000 as we speak. Snooping around, looking for entry points in our trades. And a lot of news coming out about this Genius Act being passed and what it really means for some of the larger institutional altcoins, some of the more selective altcoins that I've seen, these major fat cats are interested in this bull market because, god damn, there is a lot of red out there. Isaac, how the hell are you doing, babe?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just taking a look at all the FOMC information today.
Yep. We're going to be diving into that. There's a lot of people in VC Fat Cat, it's the aggravation with the Federal Reserve. They're not federal and they have no reserves, but they have the tagline of being a Federal Reserve. And, now we see the backroom dealers, the creators of the Federal Reserve, JP Morgan rolling out their own JPMD yesterday. The powers that be are rolling out the infrastructure for stablecoin usage. Probably going to end up being a hybridized version of CBDCs in a few years forward from now. Let's take a look at where the charts are, though. If you're not already, make sure to follow me on X here. This is where I troll post. Let's go Aerodrome community. I think we're actually up even more from that 80-cent mark since I posted that at Druth Crypto on Twitter. Isaac is at Isaac Does Crypto. So let's type him in here, get him popping up on the screen. Mr. Man, the AI agent goon himself, Isaac Does Crypto, always working hard. Shout out to Frankie Candles, too. He's rocking the Frankie Candles hat. He makes nice hats.
He makes nice hats. It also helps. They're nice hats when you don't do your hair.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and I was thinking about wearing my hat, but I slicked it back. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now I want to give a shout out to all the chat here real quick. Papa Goose, Crypto Ditto. Thanks for joining us on the live. Crypto Stevo. Found your post, Crypto Stevo. Of course, VZ Fat Cat, Shady Bandito, Cali, Crypto Dude. All my peeps, man. And of course, DeFi Crypto Nerd Drops and XR Pete, MCO. Yeah, it's really nice to see Aerodrome up because most of the market is not looking so great right now. Most of the market in the altcoin sector could be better. We could be doing better right now. We are looking at kind of a sea of sadness here for altcoins. Bitcoin in the green, ETH in the green, so that's great. Chainlink, though, below $13. Oh, my God, that is aggravating. We see some deep red and mantle, but at large, what I'm seeing is actually a group of proof of work. Doge and Litecoin, along with Bitcoin, being the pumpers currently, where we're sitting in terms of this chart here. Got some dry powder on the side ready to fire off. This pullback has been very, very enticing for me because it is a series of progressive higher lows that I'm noticing on the just general chart here. I'll kind of hide these. These don't really mean too much for what we're looking at here. Just a series of higher lows outside of major really bad news. I mean, Bitcoin structure is looking very, very good from where things sit right now. Something else interesting. I'm actually just noticing, I think I have this trend line on my trading view as well, but I'm seeing a lot of interaction, with our previous shelves on this trend line to the downside. Where we are in relevance to that, pretty darn close to that trend line right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. Liquidity levels, hop into those real quick. Hop into this. All right, I might want to make this bigger here. I wonder how to make this bigger. Well, I mean, I can kind of tell where it is anyways. Let's do a refresh on it real quick. There is some chunks below us here at 103.1. 103.1. Pretty thick stack above us, though. Not a bad stack above us. Let's go to the 24-hour. This is all, where I think the FOMC movements are going to go, I think we're going to end up right where we left off this morning, right in
Yeah.
this 104 to 105 spot. It's kind of just been sloshing back and forth between there, as any good asset does before a major move here. So, Isaac, it's going to be hard to really, while we're covering all the news, it's going to be hard to kind of pinpoint an entry point on this for
Yeah.
sure. Let's hop on over to here. Go to this tab instead. Head on over to the 15-minute. Try to get the lay of the land before we get into all the news. Printing that red dot. Things are starting to move back to the downside. We're gonna have to watch this. If we lose this 103.5 spot, 103.5 has been really important spot for Bitcoin to hold. Essentially right there. It's been pretty, and it's an old school kind of price interaction zone, as you can see from these levels. So I am watching 103.5 pretty closely. While I'm speaking, we have to keep an eye on 105, 103.5.
We also have liquidity on the what's it called? Liquidation heat map 103.2.
All right, let's hop on over there.
Pretty.
Is that where that's sitting?
Yeah, 103.
Yeah, I did. Well, like 103.7 down to 103.2, huh?
Yeah, the one on the 12. Are you on the 12 hour or the 24 hour? Yeah, you're on the 24.
That's 24.
The 12 hour shows 103.2
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's pretty similar on the 24.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to watch that while we go through all the rest of the news here. We got an absolute ton of things to go over. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel here. We got 79,200 subscribers. Hopping in here. We do daily live streams. Mostly chaos, mostly Jerome Powell on fire. We have all the greatest things here in the blockchain basement. We bring the heat. Now, Lark Davis talking about Bitcoin supply being dried up on exchanges. When demand meets scarcity, things get interesting real fast. Are you ready for what comes next? Now, this is a big subject matter for, the overall design of Bitcoin. And I do want the chat and, your opinion on this, Isaac. It's like, we see these designs of strategy and, all these other Wall Street plays kind of building up these Bitcoin reserves. And there's been this large worry of synthetic Bitcoin. It looked like about 90% of the assets that Saylor has claimed to have with strategy are there. So, through, I think it was Arc of Intelligence, they found that the assets are there. But is there going to be a point, if we hit that crescendo of a supply shock, are they just going to synthesize representations of Bitcoin and then start selling that so that a real supply squeeze doesn't happen and we run from 100,000 bucks up to $1 million within the next few years? What do you think about that, Isaac? What would you think they would do?
I mean, I feel like they would have to sell because that supply shock would be detrimental to not only Bitcoin, I think, but the rest of the market. And on top of that, I know Michael Saylor is going to, he's not going to pass down his seed phrase to anybody. He's just gonna die, and his Bitcoin is still,
which is wild too. Imagine if you're like his nephew, man.
Exactly. Imagine like you're his son, and pass down generational wealth. He's like, no, wrong, scam. You can't have it. So
absolutely brutal.
I don't know.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Bitcoin is created, is that scarcity aspect of it. I do wonder if they're just gonna, create synthetic derivatives of it if they get to that supply squeeze crescendo here. We have further movements of these, Bitcoin reserve movements mirroring strategy. We have Bitcoin ecosystem service firm Ant Alpha, looks like, posting up 423% gains over the year of net income growth in Q1. So more and more Bitcoin focused companies shining amidst, kind of people are looking for gains on Wall Street too. And, these Bitcoin reserve firms, these companies that are involved with Bitcoin, they're really shining the light. And I think that's going to kind of further push that interest. But we have spot Bitcoin ETFs on the other hand, from the traditional side, saw another strong inflow over the course of yesterday with $412 million of Bitcoin flowing into Bitcoin ETFs. So the trend is pretty clear here. Yes, you have some deep pullbacks at times of, extreme uncertainty, Liberation Day, etc. But in aggregate, this really looks up and to the right. The FOMO from Wall Street is real. And the comparison is undeniable when you compare it. You know, gold has been destroying Bitcoin this year. In 2025, gold has very much outpaced Bitcoin in terms of year-to-date change in percentage-wise terms, nearly about double of what Bitcoin's performed so far within this year. I had to troll, though. This is my late-night troll. How's that gold to Bitcoin chart looking? Asking for a friend. Let's go look at it. I think it's XAU or something like that.
Correct.
XAU BTC. Here we go. Let's go. So this is what's actually happening when you're backed up and you really, oh my
Jesus.
That's what's actually happening. And I couldn't capture this on my phone, right? I mean, this candlestick is literally too big to even capture on a phone screenshot. But the amount of gold that you get per Bitcoin has fallen well. I mean, we aren't just off a cliff. I mean, we are now tunneling into China with this chart. I mean, God, look at how hard I have to work to zoom in on this. Absolutely crazy. This is nuts when you really look at it. You know, because a lot of gold bugs will say that, you know, gold's a superior asset, and gold has its place, I'd say. Yeah. And I do like how gold bugs have kind of that same idea that monetary debasement is going to continue, and that Bitcoin and gold can be hedges. But when you really look at this thing, I mean, holy cow, it is lost. In the war is lost against Bitcoin. The war is lost. It maybe gold wins a battle here and there. And honestly, gold was over the course of this last year, very much so winning a battle. I'll delete this man. Here we go. So over the course of this year, like gold punched up to $3,400 in this zone. And it's still just writhing at these lows in comparison to Bitcoin, which is absolutely incredible to see from a visual perspective. What up, Freedom Guy, Paper Planes, everyone? Hey, Rusty Bot, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Now let's hop into the next portion of this, which is the FOMC chaos, which is coming today at 2:30. We are 1 hour and 29 minutes away from the actual meeting starting. Keeping an eye on this. You know, God, I want to be a total degenerate and have a trade open into this. You know, but in general, we're thinking a 99% surety that they're going to leave rates the same. Looking forward is kind of what I want to do to see if anything has changed in terms of July, September, October, and December of this year. Huge nothing burger. I agree with Crypto Stevo today. Will bring extreme volatility for me in terms of my trading, though. So,
indeed.
Yeah, exiting my trades before this horseshit. Yeah, it's getting weird out there. So July, it's largely thought that there's going to be no change as well. So more blue balls in July, yay. And then the market's thinking that a change in rates to the lower side, a 25 base point cut is coming in September still. So nothing has changed on that realm. It's actually getting a little bit stronger of a thought of a rate cut in September. And then, God, we're still planning on that rate sticking. And then now moving down again. So there's still general consensus here is that they're pricing in a rate cut in September and December of this year. So about 50 base points total is what they're looking out for. Poly market for today also coming in at around 98% chance that there is no change to the Federal Reserve's rates. You know, this is more blue ball action for altcoins. Unfortunately, this is why we've been leaning into trading and stacking more Bitcoin in this environment, is because it's so dominated by Bitcoin. But I do have the chop zone right now for Bitcoin and that volatility, which is giving me good entry points and ways to print more tether for myself and then swap it straight into Bitcoin. So,
you are banned.
Oh no!
I haven't done that in a minute.
Well, I was just reading. You got Robert. I was just reading Kill Ganon. He got banned from Discover's chat
for saying
Josh
is soy.
Oh shit. Dude, oh my lord. You know, I accidentally started playing that bomb. Okay, we got banned yesterday as a channel because of that Iran tune. Okay, we got
the
banned.
Very fun song that we played.
It was a good song, man. Song. You know, we got banned for the Iran tune. I started playing that in the Bell Street Burritos eatery, the restaurant, one of my favorite burrito places on the planet, Bell Street Burritos. If you're anywhere around Villa Rica, Georgia, or in Atlanta, Bell Street Burritos is one of the finest eateries on the planet, especially if you are a steak burrito aficionado like myself. And they got free food for kids on Tuesdays. So it's straight. I'm going to clip that and give it to the owner because she is so amazing. She comes out with extra cheese and chips and cookies and drinks all the time. Absolutely love that lady. Now back to business here. Bullish week for Ethereum. A bullish week for Ethereum. Ethereum whales have accumulated 800,000 Ethereum daily. This is the Ethereum whale net position change, and it is moving up aggressively while Ethereum remains blue-balled at very, very low levels. Interesting to see what the whales are doing as things are writhing in this kind of chop zone for Ethereum. When mega pump, I mean, I think Ethereum will have its day and it'll pump by 50 to 100% against Bitcoin on the ETH to Bitcoin pairing chart. And by that time comes, I'm thinking that Bitcoin's going to be at around $120,000, $130,000. So that's going to mean quite a bit for Ethereum's price, but you have to be patient to get to that day. And seeing that these whales are kind of stacking ahead of that time frame coming, very, very interesting to see. We have JP Morgan coming out and setting up a meeting. An SEC task force is discussing the impact of the existing capital markets moving to public blockchains as well. Now, yesterday, we were talking about the infrastructure and the kind of corporate interest in rolling out access to stablecoins on top of the treasuries, being bolstered by Tether and all that money from the crypto ecosystem helping further this fiat Ponzi scheme, which I'm sure it's just Satoshi's thrilled about, right? They found a way to, use the stable coin that we're going in and out of crypto and then go extend the lifespan of the fiat Ponzi scheme that Bitcoin was created to fight back against. It's absolutely insane. Now we see JP Morgan, the dark masters of the original creation of the Federal Reserve, setting up meetings with the SEC to figure out how they can move into these public blockchains, the impacts of them, and what actually might go down. And this is all in light of the Genius Act that was passed. Now, this is summarized by Marty Party. DZ did a good job summarizing this earlier on in the show. One thing beyond what DZ was talking about that I will say is that, they want us in these stable coins much more than they want us into Bitcoin. I do feel that Bitcoin, once we see the concepts of bit bonds being rolled out through the United States government, once we see the U.S. government actually go into the action plan of a strategic reserve, bolstering the current fiat system, just look back to what the government did in 1933. They came and asked nicely with guns in their hands to have your gold, right? And then they moved to this gold-backed dollar system, which then they rug pulled in 1971, ended up where we are here. Right now, I think that we're at a time frame where they're having to realize that Bitcoin is this object which cannot be removed. Thank God to cold custody. Where's my cold custody cards here? I got a stack of these things. Cold custody is king. Get yourself an Arculus cold storage wallet. We got code BASE10. You can get 20% off of yours and be a problem to Federal Reserves, right? Cold custody your crypto. I will say that seeing this groundbreaking legislation, move forward with the Genius Act, they are going to be rolling out these rails. They prefer to push us all into the USDC coin. I, on the other hand, prefer cold storage Bitcoin and Tether to be out there trading violently with on the charts. So that's just my personal opinion. And someone else pretty important and intrinsically connected to where the world of money is going is Scott Bessent. And he came out today talking about these stable coins at hand, lowering the government borrowing costs and reducing the national debt. Exactly what I'm talking about. They're bolstering up the treasury side, and they are, in the long term, they're going to utilize these systems to reduce the national debt. A thriving stablecoin ecosystem will drive demand for private sector U.S. treasuries, which will back stablecoins. The newfound demand could lower government borrowing costs and help rein in the national debt. It's like, don't worry, we're using your stable coins to further our Ponzi scheme. But you know what? By doing that, then our Ponzi scheme's going to exist for a long time. Sounds really good. And we might fix it eventually. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe any of that shit. And also, Scott Bessent, he was, he's a currency general. He's a currency general that worked directly below George Soros. And he took aim at the United Kingdom because he noticed that they have weakness in their housing, in their, real estate side. When we did see the, very dark, I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday, chosen time frame where Scott Bessent, while working for Soros, put his little finger on the tipping scale of the real estate market and the economy of the UK and caused a pretty bad cascade for their currency. He's a currency general. And, it's obvious that this is currently a trade and currency war with China. Hopefully this doesn't cascade into the next iteration of those things should Iran no longer be able to provide their oil to China and, basic trade movements start to really become difficult. Then we could see something very, very ugly unfold. So what up, quarter crawler? Good morning, traders. All right. So Circle, that stock we've been talking about, it rose 7.8% again after this stablecoin bill went through the Genius Act. Let's hop on over to the CRCL chart here and see, because I don't have FOMO about freaking stocks often. This is like a Palantir level stock. And oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. This is those entry points are so far away now. I think no.
I know. Depressing.
Lord. Oh Lord. Might have to just top blast this thing. I might end up top blasting and just being like the Pico top. Like when I finally give in, I'm like, fine, I'll buy all these crypto stocks, then it'll freaking be the top of the market. God, unbelievable. But Circle moving up very, very aggressively. The market makers know, the legislators know where this thing is going. Something else interesting on the altcoin side, and we will hop into the altcoins here before I got a lot of macro chaos to cover today, is that Binance BNB chain has just flipped Solana in 24-hour decentralized exchange trading volume. $10 billion in trading volume over the last 24 hours. Airdrop rush going on over at Binance chain right now. And honestly, Binance has been a pretty strong performer. There is no denying that Binance has been holding up very well. Right, it's been writhing and showing extreme support at about $500. Let's hop on over to the markets at large and see where this bad boy is sitting. That's $640 right now a unit. Very nice, healthy shelf, trying to break above and beyond those all-time highs. Probably going to, still be a strong contender and one of the main movers of the market this cycle. It's just the U.S. government wants Coinbase to work, so it's going to have its spot in the sun. And this is where, kind of the BNB versus base battle begins. That's where it is. Isaac, I'm trying to get my hands on one of these, one of these commemorative freaking Coinbase
Amex cards.
Yeah, you get 4% in Bitcoin back, because you saw, like, we went and got a burger, and I want you guys to, your opinion, is Isaac wrong for spending $6 in Bitcoin to test out the Lightning Network? I kind of found it enjoyable. So. You don't think so?
That was pretty enjoyable. I still have some money left over. I might go get another milkshake later, dog. I mean,
don't get another milkshake, bro. My guts are torn up from that milkshake.
My guts are rock hard.
Oh my God. I had a milkshake yesterday. I will admit. Maybe you'll be known as the burger Bitcoin guy 10 years from now.
Everyone's already trying to do t-shirts and other bullshit like that. I posted one video about me buying a burger with Bitcoin. Calm down.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Well, yeah, I use my coin. I spent some tether. I spent some tether. It is, but it worked fast. It worked. Oh
yeah, it was instantly.
Yeah, it was very, very quick. So see if I can get the end on this Coinbase card here. That'd be kind of cool to have one of those. Now we hop on over. So we see Coinbase and this Genius Act and all of these things happening that are basically building out the rails for institutional involvement, not only Bitcoin, but I've been saying this for quite some time. Not only is it a Bitcoin dominated market, but it's a very selective altcoin market. And the selectiveness of this altcoin market really, really is showing when we're looking at who the gainers are today. So if you look at this, Bitcoin flatline, Ethereum flatline, Tether, I mean, thank God Tether's flatline. But the big winner here, ooh, no, he's not. Is he really printing it?
That's crazy.
No. Doobie Doo is what? Thanks for the $2. He's printing the shirt.
First, there was the White Devil shirt.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
He's keeping you closed. Shout out to him.
I guess so. Shout out. Appreciate the $2 though.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. Shout out for the super chat. Aerodrome Finance is up 15% today, 39% on the week. Very, very strong. Much further ahead than all the other gainers here today. It feels good, man. It feels good. Even with things so stagnant, so sleepy, Aerodrome has really been popping nicely off of that. I mean, it went all the way down to about 30 cents here. In aggregate, my average buys around 40 cents because the main buys were at 18. I've been adding at these 50-cent troughs. But Aerodrome, you guys know me in Aerodrome. We've been very, very bullish on Aerodrome through this whole time. One of them that I'm thinking about that's at a big pullback level that we felt good about so far, and I know a lot of people are earning on it, is Plume. And Plume is down to 8.4 cents. So it's broken below kind of its release point here at 15 cents. The general channel was being developed at about 10 cents up to 22 cents. It's performing very, very well, and it's really starting to pull back here right now. So I'm just kind of wondering if I'm wondering if I should maybe increase my holdings on Plume, because it was previous to this fall off. I mean, it is still in that same spot. It's not very big of a part of my portfolio. And yeah, I mean, let's go over to rwa.xyz, because that's what I was seeing. Vet was talking about that as well. XYZ. Let's hop in there. This Laserface. If I just woke up today and have nothing invested in crypto, am I effed? No, but you got a lot of making up to do, and you're going to have to, if you woke up with no crypto today, you have to lock the F in. Where I would start if I woke up with no crypto today, I'd go out, earn some dirty fiat, and I would absolutely learn how to trade. I would start with a very low amount of money, figuring out how to trade on a low fee environment, and I would trade my way up into big holdings. I absolutely, you have to move aggressively if you woke up with no crypto today. And there are people in my life that have no crypto, and they do sound pretty worried about the situation, and I just tell them it's like, there's a lot of things going on in crypto. There's a lot of movements. The surest bet that I could tell them about is essentially Bitcoin, and then just learning the markets. Start learning. I mean, information is free. I got started with my information kind of deep dive honestly here on YouTube. I saw Bitcoin in 2017, 2018, started kind of figuring out what proof of work was. But ever since then, it's kind of really, really picked up. And I really wish that people would just be okay with the time frame that it takes to learn. I really wish that people would be okay with that time frame it takes to learn. So now we got this RWAXYZ. We hopped on over here. So networks, this is ranked in terms of total size of network, and Plume comes in at number 12. Which, this is right behind Mantra, but Mantra was way higher of a market cap. And I do wonder how much of that was gamified on Mantra. Because they try to say a bunch of trading happened on Mantra, and that's why we fell. Market share, Plume is still real small, but it is growing very aggressively. Let's go in here. So RWA value is up 145%. RWA holders is up very 37,000% in the last 30 days. Stablecoin holders in the last 30 days up 14,500%. And stablecoin market cap is up 189%. So we have some extreme upswing here. That's good to highlight there. That's only been live for 2 weeks. So we're seeing massive ecosystem growth for RWAs and Plume. It just went live 2 weeks ago, which is right about, it's right about there. Right about there. And then it loses that support. So it's going to find its bottom here. It's just a matter of if that 8.5 cent realm is the bottom here. That is interesting. That is interesting to see that comparison of this graph compared with these types of metrics of growth. Absolutely crazy. Plume bounce back will be strong. I mean, if it even just did a short-term bounce back to that 22 cent mark, man, that's some serious games. That's some serious gains. Let's go to DeFi Llama. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, because I have some. I just, seeing this big pullback, I'm like, shit, do I keep leaning into it with some new tether or something? Maybe. Let's go here. Let's go check out Plume on DeFi Llama. That looks great. That actually looks really, really good. And probably the price going the opposite direction. Oh my God. Is it here? You have the pre-speculation, and then the chain goes live, but it's still holding on that. Okay. You know what? I wonder if this is available on Blowfin or LBank. Do we have the Blowfin link in our description?
I can double check real quick.
Yeah, because we're gonna start utilizing. Make sure we have the Blowfin link in there. Working off Blowfin and LBank. And you can also get access to the Discord investment, Discover Investments group Discord. That's a tongue twister right there. By using either the Blowfin link in our description or the LBank link. So now we're working with both of them on that side. I do want to go to the Plume markets and see where all this is available. I originally got it on Uniswap, I remember. Let's see where else it is available. It's 2bit. I think we got a link still running for 2bit as well. So I could get it on 2bit.
We don't have a Blowfin.
All right, pop it in there for me if you can. Oh yeah, we got Blowfin. All right.
We don't have a
2bit Blowfin. Oh, it's in the Discord. It's in our Discord.
Oh.
Our internal Discord here. We can do that after the show too. So it is on Blowfin and 2bit and Coin One. I don't use Coin One. Okay. All right. Well, at least it's on a few of them. We can get spots on it. What's up, buddy? I got the daily reminder of snacks or something from the sun. What you got, bud? All right. Well, why don't you go tell Brianna and let's make some lunch? All right. Sounds good. You got pizza or corn dogs? Let her know. The organic corn dogs are good. All right. You got this, buddy. All right. Go get some pizza. All right. So now let's hop on into this. I'm going to miss these days having them with me at my office.
Yeah, luckily you have the whole summer. So
my wife shared something with me this morning. I think this guy's like a psychologist. It really, really struck a chord with me. Let's just listen to this. Let's just listen.
If you want to raise successful kids, especially boys, you have one job: love his mom. That's so sick. And people often ask, what should I teach my kids? It doesn't matter what you tell them. All that matters is what you do. So the number one predictor, for example, of kids growing up and practicing a religion is whether their father practices a religion. There's like a 40 percentage point difference in the father and the mother practicing on the predictive capacity on how the kids are going to grow up and behave. I mean, when I was a little kid, I thought my dad could lift the corner of the house. My dad was a math professor. He could not.
Now I realize he was a nerd. Yeah.
Now that I'm a nerd, I recognize that. And my dad was a very proud guy, but he was on his knees on Sunday. And that had a big impact on a little dude. There's something bigger than my dad. And I saw it. That's really important in every part of life. If you want to teach virtue, practice virtue. Be the person you want your kids to actually turn into, and they will become that.
This is just such a great reminder for me as a dad. You know what I mean? You don't often get that, and it's like, they will emulate, like if you can love their mother and you can really dig into the family unit and build that safe, strong sense of security, and be their hero, man. I mean, and that's what I see with a lot of people in my, sphere that I've grown up around that didn't have, they ended up, if they didn't have a dad and they didn't have a good family structure, things are harder. So if you guys family is first, man. And, this is, something that really hit me. It's that all you have to do is it doesn't matter what you say them, just love their mother, keep the family unit together by all means. Marriage is work, marriage is work. It's not easy. If it was easy, all of it would work out, but it's about work and showing that love through the work that we do for each other. Crazy things to think about. I just got sidetracked there. Bronson sidetracked me. It's all his fault. All right, so let's hop back on over here to the chart here. So we're talking about Plume, which is pretty enticing to me. From the amount of TVL on there, the amount of growth on the RWA ecosystem is really quite shocking, and the price is even more shocking. Honestly, I'm going to do it right now. Isaac, hold on. Isaac, take the wheel. Okay, I'm going to do this right now because I always get distracted and I never get to doing these things. So this is happening right now.
Altcoins. Are you buying more Plume as we speak?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you ever have the chance to DCA, especially when you have pullbacks like this, I mean, go ahead, take advantage of that dip, because the more money in crypto you could stack up before things really start to take off here in the hopefully near future, which is really looking like it's going to, then take those advantages, because you're not only bettering yourself, but you're bettering your family's life, your future, and being financially free. I mean, it's that's what we're in crypto for, man.
Yep. Now I got a decent amount of bag. That'd be kind of fun to do some DeFi with Plume too.
Yeah, I want to. After I saw Aerodrome like shoot up today, I kind of want to get into the little DeFi pools.
Well, it makes it more exciting when you see the ecosystems we're stacking on a spot position.
Yeah, I mean, when you see your entire portfolio in the red, but then your arrows up 10%.
Yeah,
I mean, like you kind of want to take advantage of that.
It brings the fun back. I mean, crypto. I've kept fun for myself by trading and all that stuff. But really nice to see some of those little shining lights coming through the ceiling rafters for our altcoins that we've been picking on for some time, and seeing one of them that we've been picking on for some time is, really solidifying to our direction that we've taken as a channel, as a company, where we found Aerodrome very, very early. The concept was very simple. Coinbase is going to compete with Binance. Institutions are going to be more interested in Coinbase and Coinbase products. And then all of a sudden, they rolled out a decentralized exchange that's built on top of essentially the swap system and the ecosystem of Aerodrome, on top of all the DeFi stuff. So it's there. And this is just a highlight to that. So Aerodrome even posted this. This is an old school post from Aerodrome where they were talking about they will be the liquidity hub of Built on Base as an integral part of the Base ecosystem in partnership with Velodrome. Velodrome's one my wife's still mad at me about getting. She is. And you know what? I don't blame her. It's down. It's down like 50% from where we got it. It will leverage an integrated public goods flywheel to empower Base developers and communities of infrastructure. So now that absolutely is happening with this decentralized exchange. I do want to kind of look at or Velodrome here. I do want to kind of look at Velodrome. Let's go look at Velodrome. Bam. Yeah, this is the yearly chart. This is why she's so mad at me about this one.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think she's not in top blast city by any means, like this 26 down to 4 cents, but definitely like the 10-cent range, I think, is where we got this thing.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I think it was it? Yeah, it's more around like the 8, maybe 9 cents. Probably right there.
You can't really be that mad.
Yeah. And so it is what it is. It's interesting to see Velodrome in connection with that, and Velodrome's price is just being really overseen. And another thing in this ecosystem, we'll hop on over to here to the watch list. Another one in this ecosystem I feel is very, very strong is Morpho. This is the lending within Coinbase landing pad. Morpho's getting beat down just like the rest of them. Man, do we? All right, so we're getting pretty close to the FOMC meeting starting, Isaac.
I thought it was at 2 p.m.
It's at 2 p.m. It is at 2 p.m., but I want to see if I can try to get something chaotic and then put the stop loss above entry to just cover the the entry point.
We're just chopping on this one candle right now.
Yeah, we're chopping on the one candle. This is the 4 hour, right? And we've had a rough 4 hours. Okay, rough 4 hour. Let's pull this up. Ooh. See, and this is the thing is I was feeling like trying to snipe into a position because the sell-offs on the MACD were getting weaker and weaker on the 4-hour. That's been a really good kind of, what's going to happen within the day kind of metric for me is the 4-hour, but it is trying to roll back down to the down to the downside. So gotta be careful about this.
We always pump into FOMC. So I'm just trying to see how low we can go. Back to the liquidity chart.
Yeah, let's go to it. Let's go.
Almost 100 million liquidated at 103.6.
Okay, let's talk to it.
And
we're getting close to it.
Still 50 million. So we're not that far off.
Yeah. It's trying to look at that though. It's constricting. The wavelength is constricting here.
Interesting indeed.
Arrow, Ondo, Link. Yeah, man. I mean, like Ondo and Link, those are the ones that are still in like I know they're good, but they haven't pumped yet.
Yeah.
Oh God. You should tell Drew about my new favorite meme coin, Crypto Stevo.
Oh God.
What is it? What is the new favorite?
Actually, I don't even know what the meme coin is.
You should tell us. And just say it in the chat, Stevo. Just say it in the chat. Adam Bombetti says she's down 70% on Bella. You guys are fine. All right. Cool. Appreciate
that.
I know. I use is this useless is the token? I don't hate the name. And if it's just a meme coin, calling it useless, at least that's
real to what they are.
Huh. All right. Now let's keep moving through this. We got a lot of stuff to cover here. This is nuts. Moonpig tanked. This is a project James Wynn was posting about this Moonpig project. It looks like a wallet linked to James Wynn might have just dumped 10.9 million Moonpig tokens worth about $120,000, tanking the market cap below $10 million. Let's actually go to Deck Screener. The degenerate landing spot. I always end up going here when I get deep into these altcoins. Is where things get weird. Moonpig. And honestly, I saw James Wynn posting about this. I was not interested. Oh God.
Holy cow.
Okay. Let's snoop around a little bit on this. I remember when meme coin season was really going on, I had to start messing around with the top traders and then figuring out who was okay. So this is a no buy and a sell for $1 million flat. What a nice take. What a nice take here. They say the latest sale is around 120K. Let's see here. Unknown wallet. Oh, that's fun. This one's been selling like crazy, though. Look at all those sales. This kind of gives James Wynn vibes. Insider, heads up, Pico top. It's going to die. Get off the ship. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, James Wynn's probably going to use all $120,000 and YOLO into another long and then get wrecked and then YOLO into another short and get wrecked and then bull post about it and get a bunch of people to sign up with him. That's usually how these things work. Let's see here. Ooh, Bitcoin pulling back even more, Isaac.
Maybe we will get a little interesting little spot here.
Yeah. Let me know in the chat. Should I be degen? Maybe I should just let the chat decide. It can be all because we are getting.
They're going to say
this local POC. We're like below the local POC. Either everything goes to hell, and we lose this 103.5 spot. Where is this? This upward trend line sitting at about 103.9.
All right, we'll start a poll. We'll leave the poll up for like a minute and a half. Then I'll close it. We'll go over it, and then we'll try to put something there.
All right, fair enough. I like it. I got some other stuff here. This is actually from Crypto Stevo. Sui alts that Crypto Stevo has been looking at. Blue token within the Sui ecosystem. Walrus, Send, and Cetus. Cetus is that one that had that huge exploit that I already knew about. It's like a good like a good. I think it's either a DEX or a DeFi spot. Let's go look at Cetus. See if it's recovered from that pullback here. We're flatline on the day, down 20% on the week. It's a DEX. That's what it was. DEX on SWI. Man, that's a nasty low point as well. Hopping over back here. Gaming tokens. God, you sicko. Sicko, you sick person, Steve-O. He's looking at gaming tokens.
See, I dumped all of my gaming tokens except for one because I didn't have BNB token. And I want to buy BNB token just to dump a coin.
Okay. Okay. If I'm getting into gaming, man, it's going to be like 1% of the portfolio. Ooh, we're nuking right now.
It's going to be Avalanche.
The chat was trying to wreck me. Chat was trying to wreck me. What up, Alex O? I was on a show with Alex O last night. Shout out to Alex O, man. I met his wife, his awesome, adorable little baby. I don't know if it's a son or a daughter, but you got a cute family going on, man. Good job, Alex O. Alex O kind of, I don't know if anyone knew that Alex O kind of had a moment where we kind of, we're along the same lines. When I was a young man, about Isaac's age, I was a very angry young man, Isaac. I had spent my life like dealing with the thought and kind of the understanding my brother was going to die. And I was mad at God if he had existed. In my mind, I was like, I don't know if you exist, but I'm mad at you, God. And I was very aggressive. I got in lots of fights. I was not a good person. And God came and hit me on the head with a 2x4 one day. My truck had been towed. I was going through all kinds of problems at work and life. And, I'd been dabbling in music, but I didn't really ever hit my stride. I never had any awesome power in music or ability. And I was just like, what the hell is this? This is all bullshit. And I was at like the end of my rope, literally. And I sat next to a lake, and a bunch, like probably, when I say a bunch, like 3 or 4 eagles, bald eagles, started circling over my head. A bunch of dragonflies started flying around the place. And it was not normal for this to happen because it was like just a lake by my apartment at the time. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. So I sat still. This freaking thing started landing on me. They landed on my shoulders and my arms. And I sat there in absolute shock and paralyzation for probably 15, 20 minutes in that state. Ever since then, God has humbled me to me understanding that I am a small little speck in the grander scheme and control of what God is, what God has created. It humbled me hard. I've been, I operated from that mindset ever since then. I've been able to manifest a lot of things in my life from operating from that position of godly strength, of knowing God exists and having that godly strength. And I have a total heart for people that don't have this in their heart. I completely understand why you don't feel that way. I would just say, keep your ears open. God is found in nature, and he can work through you in very powerful, physical, tangible ways if you just let it happen. We have a Frigid talking about, and thank you for the super chat. We got some Canuck bucks from Alex. So thanks, dude. God is good. Much love, homie. Shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you. Alex is awesome. Frigid, I am the Don, talking about Miria 100x gaming potential. All right, so he's looking at Miria.
Here's what I'm going to say about Miria. I dumped that. You
were in that.
I wasn't. I had like 100,000 tokens of Miria.
Okay, you were a whale.
That wasn't a small bag. Okay.
Yeah.
But, it was a super low market cap, and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the gaming industry. I don't feel like it's that time for gaming. Again, only gaming stuff that I'm willing to be in is Avalanche as of right now. And that's the only.
My Avalanche play is like me being more careful about the gaming industry. Like it's connected, they got like
it's like semi-connected, but it's not like officially gaming.
But it's got a multi-faceted. It's got the RWA thing. Yeah. It's got the it's got all that. And again, like I want to leave room in everyone that hasn't had that moment with God. Like, I'm not trying to say if you don't believe in God, you shouldn't watch me or you shouldn't listen. I'm just saying you should listen to the world around you. You should go out there and really, really sink into your your own being, your own feelings, your own mind. And, you know, if you're in that mindset like I was, being mad at God, that's okay, man. That is okay, because he will work. You know, I want you guys to be open to it, because it's a very powerful way to manifest what we're looking for out of this world. And a lot of people think that, you know, manifestation isn't connected. I absolutely think it is. If you're working through the power that you know you have, great things can happen. Now this is freaking doobie-doo flatulence. In 9 days, he's maintained steady price on ARC XBT or XRP. I think this thing is still in bonding. We need to go see if ARC XRP is still in bonding or not. I freaking bought some because of how much he supports my channel. I freaking bought some. Where are we at? Are we on via Pump Fund? I don't know if this is the right one or not. I keep finding the wrong one because there's a few of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Bitcoin had just dipped to 103.9, and now it's back up to 104.2.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
What? Oh my God. It bounced right off this stupid trend line.
Uh-huh. Of course it did.
Oh no. And nothing can go wrong. What does the poll say?
Oh, the
What
poll
does
says poll says Dewey long. It's 52% yes.
Oh my
47%
God.
no.
Oh my God. It is a split decision. Split decision. In the blink of an eye, too. This thing is pumping 0.25%. Things are getting
So
wild.
Kelly, how you doing?
What up, Kelly Kellum? Let's hop on over to the liquidation chart here. All right. Let's see here. I'll show this. We're not quite. We are trying to knock on this action down here. This is danger zone. This is danger zone.
I'm here for it.
I'll be careful. I'm not trading with a small bag. I got to be careful here. Trump came out and said some crazy stuff. Now, he asked, am I allowed to appoint myself as the head of the Federal Reserve? He feels like he's going to do a much better job than Jerome Powell. I want to know what the chat thinks. Would Jerome Powell be replaced by Trump be a good thing or a bad thing? You know, do you think that Trump could do a better job than Jerome Powell? Jerome Powell does not have an easy job. Let's not act like Jerome Powell does not have an easy job. And so Trump saying that he could do a better job, I mean, he'd probably keep rates very low to make things look very good, but would that be a good or a bad thing? I want to know your guys' honest opinion about that. Because Trump, he's got a big old ego. He thinks he can do a better job. I don't know, man. We saw what happened when they kept rates at historic lows through the 2010 zone. Ended up going so well. We didn't end up in a great spot. Now this Elon Musk talking about how America doesn't understand the fight we are up against. It's not on the battlefield against China currently. It is on the energy field. These are the terawatts per month that China is absolutely exploding up into the right on their solar industry, is absolutely crushing our solar industry, but we are generally up into the right, just not at the velocity. The main thing we're losing here is upward momentum in our power generation through U.S. nuclear production. This is a problem, and we need something done in a very, very drastic and almost a desperate way here in the United States to increase that nuclear power production, or things are going to get very, very weird for America. Country with the largest amount of power is in control, and we need to fix that in a big way. On the macroeconomic side as well, we do have some charts to look at. Walmart giving a little bit of a haircut on the day. Kind of interesting to see this retail giant taking a haircut. Its longest losing streak since June of 2004. Nice. So this is a big losing streak that hasn't seen in quite some time. It'll be interesting to see what Walmart stocks end up looking like after that, if it's a big resurgence moment. Because Walmart they've been trying to shift into that online retail movement, but I don't really when's the last time have you bought anything online from Walmart ever, Isaac? Ever?
Not once. Never.
Right?
Nope.
And
not
so,
even like their little DoorDash program where you could get groceries.
Oh yeah, like the pull up the curbside thing. That thing sucks too. They never get the order right.
Nope.
right?
They always miss something or they get the wrong thing, and it's just this whole situation. And just everything. Most things are better if you do it by yourself or with AI.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's in Walmart. They could have upped the ante on their customer service, but it is difficult. And honestly, the last time I went to Walmart, I asked him for a box of 30-06. The idiot behind the counter acted like I just asked him for a bomb. He was like, I gave him he got the ammo down, and he was like, starts shaking. And he's like, I need to find my manager. And then he just runs to the back room, and he disappeared. Like I'd paged the guy. I had the front desk page the guy to bring my damn ammo up to the front desk so I could buy it. I sat there for 10 minutes begrudgingly because it was the first time I've been to Walmart in years, honestly. And he never came back. He just disappeared. He didn't want me to buy the ammo. It's like
That's funny.
oh, I love you too, honey. Oh my God, that's cute. I just had this moment, Daddy, I love you. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. My kids are gonna know that, bullets don't spontaneously explode. Okay. Jesus.
It's not like you open the box and boom, and then there's like just bullets flying everywhere.
It was so weird, man. I was like, what is your problem? And
I wish I was there to record that.
We're in Paulding County. Like, you're surrounded by hillbillies, bro. Get used to it. You're not going to change the demographic with your feelings. Okay. We're all hillbillies here.
Half of the people in that Walmart are probably carrying
at the time.
Exactly.
Right. At the time. All right. Now we got this. This is crazy. Elon Musk is being reported that he's burning through $1 billion per month. Brody, here you go. Here's a short charger you can use. All right, buddy. Yeah, that'll work. They're burning through $1 billion a month as costs are piling up for XAI, the kind of AI arm of X and Elon Musk's mega system that he's building out right now. And he's also got some headwinds. Honda has entered the space race and sticks the landing with a reusable rocket. So Honda is now trying to come up with a similar type of product as what SpaceX has come up with. Honda's made some damn good cars over the years. I don't know if they got the chops to go into the stratosphere or not. What do you think? Is Honda going to tangibly be able to compete on these reusable rockets with SpaceX?
Shoot it out the sky!
Oh my God.
You can't compete with the United States. So you can get fucked for $3.99.
Oh my Lord.
It's possible. They built some pretty cool products. I love their cars too.
Dude, the Honda Civic ain't nothing to mess with.
They last so long too.
But, yeah, you too, Alex. So thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Now Trump going into revenge mode. Let's go into this. This is absolutely crazy what he said today.
What gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. The first time I had it, but you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference.
I was hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Trump, Iran.
In the later part of his lifespan here, he's 70s, maybe just. How old is Trump? Isn't he like?
Let's take a look right now.
Yeah, I think he's in between the 70s and 80s. I don't think he looks 80. He looks great if he is 80.
Yeah.
I wonder how old Trump is, though. He's kind of at that revenge mode part of his life, though. And now that we're seeing this Iran. 79.
Yes.
Dude, he looks great. He's almost 80 years old.
He just turned 79 4 days ago.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy because Biden was like 81. He's only 2 years older.
Exactly. And you can see the complete difference between competent and incompetent.
Jeez Louise. Jesus. That's absolutely nuts. Now we had a little slip up from Ted Cruz talking to Tucker Carlson last night about American involvement over in the Iran conflict.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population. At all? No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
This is kind of funny. Good point. All right, let's keep going.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are...
Oh my God, bro.
Jesus.
This is wild.
Are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not
Okay.
even. You don't know anything about Iran. So
Okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
They're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe
we're
that,
carrying out military strikes today.
You said it.
What?
Whoa.
We are carrying military strikes out today. We is in the U.S.
I love and appreciate all of you guys. It was good knowing you, but I'm definitely out of here very soon.
Bro. I mean, that is wild. That is absolutely wild. And I understand, like, this is a very, this splits our group, our community right in half. Like, should we go in and stop Iran? Should we just leave it alone? And this is the thing, is that both these sectors, I want us to be as little involvement as possible. But honestly, Iran's been trying to hack our grid for 3 decades. What do you think the world and America would look like if they were able to successfully shut our grid down like Iran's been trying to do for 3 or 4 decades already? What would happen if they actually succeeded? What would happen is a situation like The Last of Us. Instead of the things having mushrooms out of them, they would no longer have their phones. They would realize that their just-in-time delivery system had been shut down, and they'd be going after you. We'd have internal chaos, absolutely, if we didn't have the electrical grid running in the United States. Within 48, 72 hours, there would be chaos. And so that part aggravates me a lot about Iran, okay? And now when I look at the Israel side, that whole conversation of where lending comes from and all of these different things, which us as Bitcoiners, we want to fight back against, we can absolutely do it. And we're already winning through a monetary means, through Bitcoin, through cold custody, through offering lending and DeFi through this ecosystem that's making banks compete for their attention here. This is where we can fight this on 2 fronts, monetarily, which we already are winning, and we're doing with Bitcoin and crypto. And now on this side with Iran, it's a subsect of more extreme version of religion that wants to lob Westerners, non-believers heads off and kick them down the street like a soccer ball. Okay. So two completely different versions of conversation of how we can approach this. It's just, I understand everyone's got a big emotional investment into what this is. This matters a lot for our country. And it's going down right now, man. It does look like Putin spoke to Trump yesterday, and Vladimir Putin offered to mediate on Iran. Trump's message is that Iran suggested they would come to the White House as well, and that Iran is totally defenseless. I think he's talking in terms of defenseless versus, say, satellite systems of the U.S. should we actually decide to hammer in. Things internally are hammering into Iran, though. Their biggest bank, and a bank that supplies a lot of their military funding, Bank SEPA, has now been hit and shut down by Israeli hackers that claim to destroy the data at the bank internally. Cyber warfare going on. It's really, really starting to pick up. And we see Chinese 747s took off with cargo flights flying for Europe, routed through Dubai, but midair, they veered towards Iran, killed their transponders, and vanished from radar. They never landed in Europe, which they're supposed to land. Sources say that they were loaded with military equipment just days after the strikes started to take place. Maybe that wasn't just a shipping error. Hopefully this isn't Isaac, right? But this is honestly Garen Thumb's take on the whole situation. This is Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and below the Fighting Crabs, American teenagers and Iranian teenagers. Oh my God, bro. Insane. Absolutely insane. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, this picture is worth 100,000 words, 1,000,000 words. Really soak that in right there. Now, it's a crazy time in the world. We got thunder up above us. Every single time we go live, there's a massive storm on. Have you noticed that, Isaac?
I have noticed that.
Usually when we're live, price takes a little bit of a dip on Bitcoin. Have you also noticed that?
I also have noticed that. Market makers. We're the market makers.
We're the market makers. On the market makers getting stopped out. We got a comptroller in New York City got arrested for assaulting ICE officers last night. Brad Lander, arrested by Department of Homeland Security agents after allegedly assaulting an immigration officer at a federal court. Some say it's a stunt for headlines ahead of the mayoral election. Lander, who opposes Trump's immigration stance, demanded to see a judicial warrant during the incident. Charges were dropped, but the Homeland Security agents say the investigation continues. This is the guy. Holy cow. Did you hear that,
Yeah,
Lander?
I did hear that.
Dude.
That's nasty. Makes me want to go run, though, like I did yesterday.
Thunder. Man, yeah, you ran through the rain last night, right?
Yeah, I ran like 2 miles yesterday through the pouring rain. It was so much fun.
Good on you. Good on you. We got the FBI is now actively investigating the Orhos-backed NGOs that funded the insurgencies in Los Angeles and other cities. Same funding patterns that we saw from the Summer of Love that we all know and adore the memories of. And General Mills has announced that it will remove all artificial colors from the entire U.S. product line following directives from RFK Jr. Again, this is intended with the Kraft Heinz move, but it's going to take a long time for those manufacturing facilities to pull back that production process. So a lot of news, a lot of information to digest, and big moves on the Bitcoin chart. Holy cow. On today's show, I did buy a little bit more Plume. Okay. I lowered my entry point on Plume because my original entry point was like 13 cents at 8.5 cents. Probably coming up with, because actually I bought more just now than I originally did. So are we the basement cabal? Is that the new word?
Why
here?
not? Fuck it.
We're the basement cabal. We start our own cabal. Hey, it sounds kind of
we call it a cabal, but it's actually a militia. I like that idea.
All right, fair enough. I wonder, there's someone in the chat, Skrilla the Gorilla, saying that something's false. I wonder what a false narrative. Please clarify. Have you all heard about the strange noises researchers claim to be hearing below Antarctica?
Probably scam.
I will speak on Antarctica. I used to hire for engineers and project managers, people that would build large installations for companies like Leidos, Raytheon, and microtunnelers. Microtunnels are not what you would imagine. They're not some small tunnel. Microtunnels are about the size of this building, Isaac, a good 2.5 stories. And they are massive tunneling systems. Now, I'll just say this. I've seen resumes with tunneling and infrastructure underground building experience in Antarctica. I've done it before. I can't tell you exactly what. But yeah, there's some stuff in Antarctica that we're not made privy to. It is my opinion, this is kind of a crazy thought, but with the amount of tunneling that I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a tunnel going from Antarctica up to all the way on up to Washington State. I would not be surprised by that. So, it's a beautiful day on the blockchain. What do we do about this long? It's tough.
I want to do it so bad. The chat told us to long.
All right. Then we're going. We're going then. I'll lower this down. Chat, you know what? You got the wheel.
Your words matter, and if I lose money, I blame all of you guys. I'm kidding.
I mean, this is the 1 minute chart. I mean, we're a little zoomed in. We'll kind of scan this out before I just hammer in. Make sure I'm not being a complete fool here. It's anyone's game though right now. I mean, we are on a pullback right now. I understand that. So the indicators, the Fu Manchu. Oh God, oh shit! All right,
that's not bad.
All right,
looks fairly decent.
Decent pullback. All right, fine. Chat.
I want this candle to be red, not green. There we go. That's what I like to see.
All right, we're going here. All right, just a little one. 1,500. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned tomorrow to see if you're all at fault for me losing $1,500. It looks like you are. Look at it. It's going down immediately. We'll be watching Josh in the FOMC here in a few minutes, and things are about to get crazy. So stay tuned, guys. I'll see you soon.
Peace.